Welcome to this explainer. Japan is changing right now, and I mean really changing. Under Prime Minister Takaichi, the country is making its biggest moves in decades. The government is completely changing how it spends money, how it defends the nation, and even how politics works online. We are going to make all of this very clear for you today. Let's dive right in.
Here is our plan for today. We will look at the new economic plan, the fight for money, a stronger military, a surprising political crypto token, and finally, what all this means. Let's get started.
First up, the new economic plan. The strategy here is spending big for growth. The Japanese government wants to spend massive amounts of money to make the economy grow.
370 trillion yen. Let that number sink in for a second. Over the next 15 years, the government plans to guide this massive amount of public and private investment. Just to put that into perspective, that is more than half of Japan's entire economy for a single year. It's a huge, huge push to grow the country by 2040.
So, where is all this money actually going? Well, the plan targets 17 key growth areas. We are talking about things like artificial intelligence, semiconductors, the defense industry, medicine, and space technology. Think of this as Japan's map for the future. The goal is simple. Japan wants to build very strong businesses so it doesn't have to rely on other countries.
But why spend all this money right now? Well, it turns out capital investment is slowing down. This is the money that companies spend on things like factories and equipment. Right now, companies are saving their money instead of spending it, so the government feels it absolutely must step in to push the economy forward.
Which naturally leads us to a simple but very important question. Where will this 370 trillion yen come from? The government needs this cash, and finding it is causing a lot of political tension.
That brings us to part 2, the fight for money. Japan is actually changing its own financial rules to pay for these huge plans.
For a long time, Japan played by a very strict rule. The government basically had to take in more money than it spent. But the new government decided to change the rule book. Now, the main goal is just to lower the debt compared to the total size of the economy. What does this mean? It means the government could actually borrow and spend a lot more money today as long as the economy grows faster than the debt.
They are calling this strategy a high-pressure economy. Basically, the government wants people and businesses to demand more goods than the country can easily supply. By spending a lot of money and creating high demand, they want to force companies to invest. They want companies to increase production and raise wages. It is a really bold move to force growth. But as you might guess, not everyone agrees on all this spending. In fact, it has caused a serious political fight. Prime Minister Takaichi wants to cut taxes on food to help everyday people. However, the finance ministry wants to save money and keep their strict rules. It got so intense that the prime minister even tried to replace the leader of the finance ministry. But Finance Minister Katayama stopped her, protecting her department. It's a classic battle over the nation's wallet.
So they are finding new ways to borrow and spend. But besides new technology and business, where exactly is a big part of this money going? That brings us to our third topic, a stronger military. Japan is changing its defense rules faster than it has in decades. 2%. The government plans to spend more than 2% of its total economy on defense. For a very long time, Japan kept its military budget very small. But today, because of security fears in the region, defense spending is reaching record highs. And things are changing fast. Let's look at this timeline. Back in 1947, Japan's constitution officially renounced war. Fast forward to 2014, and Japan slowly allowed the export of safe, non-lethal equipment. But jump to 2024, and they ordered 400 Tomahawk cruise missiles. And by 2026, the government will allow the export of lethal weapons to allies. This is a massive shift away from Japan's long history of peace.
The government is taking other big security steps too. They plan to build a national intelligence agency to gather global information. They want to create a new anti-spy law, and they are making a special group to stop foreign money from stealing sensitive Japanese technology. Basically, Japan is securing its borders and its secrets.
Now, a shift this big is causing global reactions. China recently retaliated against Japan's new policies. The Chinese government banned exports of certain goods to 20 Japanese defense companies. China stated this was to stop Japan from rebuilding its military. In response, the Japanese government strongly protested the ban.
So,
The economy and the military are seeing these huge official changes. But what about the people and everyday politics? In this new digital age, can you actually buy political support?
That leads us to the political crypto token. This is a very surprising side effect of this new political era.
Meet the Sanae token. It is a digital crypto token created by a political fan base. The idea was pretty simple: reward people for political support. If you posted opinions online or helped the group out, you earned tokens. It literally turned political energy into digital money.
Some people tried to compare this to local money that you might use to help small-town shops. But as you can see, they are very different. Local money is safe. It's just used to buy local things. But the Sanae token was highly risky. It was tied directly to politics. Instead of buying groceries, people bought the token hoping the price would go up to make a profit. And wow, did the price move. At first, the token price jumped 30 times higher. It became a huge target for investors looking to make quick cash. But then, Prime Minister Takaichi officially stated she had nothing to do with it. When she denied involvement, the price completely crashed. Now, financial regulators are actively investigating the situation. It really shows the dangerous new ways politics and digital money are mixing together.
We have covered a lot of ground today. So what does this all mean? Let's look at the big picture.
First, massive economic spending is definitely coming. The government will take on more debt to force the economy to grow. Second, the military is getting much stronger, and old rules are changing very fast. Third, political energy across the country is high. And fourth, with these new digital tokens and new debt rules, there are brand new financial risks to watch out for.
The government is pushing hard and spending big. But the question remains, will this huge gamble make Japan a stronger, more secure country, or will it just create dangerous debt and new problems? The rules have definitely changed, and the world is watching closely to see what happens next. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.